Hey guys, welcome back. This is History of Power Rangers Season 2, Episode 16 of my show. But this is about Episode 15 of Season 2. But before I start talking about it, I just want to mention something. Since we're on Episode 15, that means we got, 16, 17, yeah, so we got 2 more videos left before the White Light 2-part episode. I just wanted to get that out of the way. Anyway, and I just want to mention this ahead of time. I'm sorry I didn't post a video yesterday for my channel, but like I told you guys before, I had a bit of a good reason for it. It was because I was gone to my cousin's wedding on Saturday, so that's why I posted one on Friday, but I didn't post on Saturday. So technically this one is going to count for the second one for this weekend. Oh, and also the long weekend is coming up next weekend, so I'm going to be posting probably a bunch of videos over that time span. I just wanted to get that out of the way. Anyway, now getting into the actual episode here. This is History of Power Rangers Season 2, Episode 16 of my show, but this is about Episode 15. And Episode 15 in the original Power Rangers second season is known as Orchestral Maneuvers in the Park. Before I continue, I'm just going to mention something about the title. The reason why it's called that is because of a trumpet, and I'll explain why. Basically, the way this episode starts off is, Zack and, his friends are, along with his cousin Curtis, are in the youth center, and Zack saying that he's excited for the jazz concert. Now the jazz concert thing, I'm just gonna mention something a little funny about that. The jazz concert thing, it's a thing that's going to be happening in this particular episode I'm talking about, and this is going to sound kind of funny, but it's also going to play, not the jazz concert itself, but the monster that Zedd's going to create is going to play a hand. One of the instruments that's going to be used is going to play a hand in Zedd's plot, one of his plans for this episode, basically. And then Zack is telling him that Curtis is gonna jam it at the jazz concert that they're having at the youth center, basically. And then what happens is, after that, Curtis said that he hopes so, but he's got some bad news. His trumpet and all his other musical instrument stuff is on the is still on the truck, on the moving truck, being transported from where he was moving from to Angel Grove, so he doesn't have a trumpet to play for the jazz concert. And then Zack gets a little depressed about that, but because they think that they might have to cancel the show because of that. And then Curtis says that what about their Uncle Ed's trumpet? And he says that that's a good idea. Now I'm going to explain about the trumpet. Apparently, well, as it's stated by Zack in this episode, he's telling Curtis that he's got to be careful with it because it's a very famous trumpet. And the other Rangers in their human forms are wondering what he means by that. And then Zack basically explains to them that their uncle, in this episode, that, like, their old Uncle Ed that he's explaining about in this segment of the episode, he's one of the greatest jazz musicians of all time in this episode, and he inherited his uncle's trumpet a while back, basically, and he's always thought of it as sort of like a good luck charm. And then the Rangers are telling Curtis that maybe that's a good idea, maybe it'll bring them some good luck, basically, to help with the concert. And then it goes into a scene where Zedd is, and then Zedd's like, "That trumpet is gonna bring them something, alright, but it won't be good luck." And basically what Zedd means by it won't bring them good luck is that basically what his plan is he's gonna basically cast a spell on the trumpet. And his spell is... Now I'm going to explain a little bit about the spell since it's going to cause a little bit of a funny thing with the Rangers in this segment of the episode. The spell that he's going to cast on the trumpet is actually a kind of a hallucination spell. Well, actually, I'm going to explain about that segment when I get to where Goldar is. And then Goldar wonders what kind of spell that is he going to place on it, and he tells and then Zedd tells Goldar that he's going to place a hallucination spell on the trumpet, and then Goldar basically wonders what will the Rangers basically hallucinate. And basically now I'm going to explain what the trumpet will make them hallucinate because of that spell, basically. It'll make them see monsters that they previously defeated that are not actually really there. So it's sort of an illusion technique kind of thing. And then when he summons a real monster, they'll be too tired from fighting imaginary ones to deal with the real one. And so he sends his putties down to Earth, basically, to start with the spell, basically. And then basically what happens is after that, the Rangers, Zack and the rest of the Rangers are going through the park to deliver his Uncle Ed's trumpet to Curtis to use for the jazz concert, and that's when the putties show up, and then they fight the putties a little bit, and then while they're fighting, one of the putties sprinkles some of the powdery dust that is a part of the hallucination spell on the trumpet, and then the putties get away, but that's basically because their objective has been fulfilled, basically. So then Zack and Billy are wondering what that was about, and Billy says that he doesn't know, and then he figures that he should get back to the youth center, and then Zack says that, yeah, Curtis is probably missing the trumpet that he's going to be using. And then Curtis gets a little worried that Zack's not going to show up, but then Jason reassures him that he will show up, because if Zack said he'll be there, and then he hopes so. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to perform. And then Zack shows up with his uncle's trumpet, which, by the way, in this segment of the episode, he doesn't know that Zedd had placed the putties had placed the spell on it. And then, so he gives it to Curtis to use for the concert, and then they start the jazz concert basically, and then it goes into a scene where Zedd is, and then Zedd's like, "This is perfect! It's about time you putties actually did a job right!" And then he tells his minions that all they have to do now is basically wait for the spell to take effect. And then it goes back into the jazz concert, and then the blue dust that the putties sprinkled on it, on the trumpet, gets to the Rangers, which was like I said, was the hallucination spell. And then after the jazz concert finishes, basically what happens is the Rangers are congratulating Curtis on a wonderful performance, and then Billy says in a scientific sense that he liked the music, and then basically Curtis puts the trumpet down to talk with the others, and then that's when Zedd uses his staff to use the trumpet to summon his trumpet top monster, and then basically what happens is Curtis is thanking Zack for allowing him to use the trumpet in the concept, and then they look over and see where the trumpet used to be, but it's not there, and they think that somebody might have swiped it, which technically is true because Zedd took the trumpet to create his trumpet top monster. Anyway, basically what happens is then Zack gets a little upset that he said that his parents aren't gonna like that he lost his uncle's trumpet, and then they go through the park looking for the trumpet, and then that's when they see monsters like the Saliguana, the stag beetle, the grumblebee, and a whole bunch of other monsters that they had fought previously that they think are there, but in reality they're actually not. They're in their minds, and because of Zedd's hallucination spell and him creating the trumpet top monster, they think they are real, but they're not really there. And then, so they morph to the Ranger forms to deal with the monsters, which, as I said, they're not really there. And then they start fighting them, and then the trumpet top monster tells them that, said that the Rangers are wearing themselves out, fighting imaginary monsters, and then, basically, that's when the alarm in the command center goes off, and then Zordon tells Alpha to activate the viewing globe, use the scanner to find the location of the monster, but then Alpha tells Zordon that that's just it, there are no monsters anywhere. And, but before I continue, I'm gonna mention something. One of Bulk and Skull's latest plots to find out who the Rangers are is reminiscent of the fairy tale Cinderella. Now, what I mean by that is they're using this cement to try to find the footprints. Like, they're gonna take a cast of the footprints, sort of similar to the glass slipper. They're gonna use liquid cement to track the Rangers' footprints and get people's feet to match and see if the footprints that match up with the Rangers' boots, then they can find out who the Rangers are, which I think is kind of a good thing in this case, which strategically it does. And then then, Bulk and Skull see the Rangers in their Ranger forms, swinging around because they can't see the monsters that only they can see. And then, Alpha says that the Rangers are tiring themselves out and there's no monsters there. And then Zordon tells Alpha that the Rangers are under Zedd's spell and the monsters that they are fighting exist only in their minds. Which, again, as I stated, is because of a hallucination spell. And then basically what happens is Zordon has Alpha teleport the Rangers to the command center, and then what basically happens is Bulk and Skull use that as an opportunity because the Rangers left that beach area where they were fighting the imaginary monsters, to get the cement cast of people's footprints. And then once the Rangers are back in the command center, they're wondering why Zordon brought them to the command center, because those monsters that they were fighting could destroy Angel Grove any minute. And then Zordon tells them that the irony of their situation is there are no monsters at all. And then when Billy sees that, when Billy hears Zordon say that, he asks him, then how does he explain the phenomenon that just occurred? And then Zordon tells the Rangers to behold the viewing globe, and he tells them that it said what they were seeing was an illusion spell cast by Trumpet Top, Zedd's latest monster, created from Zack's uncle's Trumpet, basically. And then that's when he figures out what happened to it, and then they're wondering how they can break the spell. And then basically Zordon tells them that the only way they can break the spell is to defeat the Trumpet Top monster. So they go back to fight the Trumpet Top monster, and then Zedd makes the Trumpet Top monster grow using his potion, and then they fight the Trumpet Top monster in the Megazord. And then this is gonna sound kind of funny, but the Trumpet Top monster actually makes a music-based pun to the Rangers, like he says, "Time to make the music, Power Bat Skis." And then when they're fighting, they actually the Thunder Saber that the Rangers were using for the Megazord flies up in the air, and then the Trumpet Top monster grabs it, and he says that family shouldn't have, and then basically its electrical energy zaps the Trumpet Top, and then the Rangers get the sword back, and they manage to destroy the Trumpet Top monster, which basically breaks his spell over them. And then Zedd gets upset that he lost again, and then it goes into a scene where the Rangers are in their human forms in the youth center. Trini is asking Curtis why is he feeling so glum, because of everyone at the loved his concert, and he doesn't think he can play another trumpet. And then Curtis says that he doesn't think he can see another trumpet again after losing their Uncle Ed's. And then one of the Rangers tells them that they're in luck, and then he shows them the trumpet, and then basically Curtis wonders where they got it, and then one of the Rangers in their human forms tells Curtis that a kid found it. He said the Power Rangers left it there, and then Curtis says that he doesn't believe that, and then Bulk and Skull try to get people to use the footprints for the cement tape with the cement plaster to find out to match the footprints to find out who the Rangers are, basically. And then basically what happens is after that there's a little commotion with the with the patrons from the youth center, and then Bulk and Skull managed to break the cement plaster that they were gonna use to find out who the Rangers are, and then one of the Rangers tells Bulk and Skull that maybe it's a good thing they don't know who the Rangers are, and then Zack makes a joke where he says that it's nothing to fall the pieces over, and then does this little laugh scene, and then that's basically where this episode stops. So if you guys like this video when I post it, I am going to probably post it today, so if you guys like it when I post it today, just please give it the real best you guys can, and I will see you guys probably, maybe, sometime Monday for the next video or something. So until then, guys, like I always tell you with this series, may the power protect you always.